Good evening, everybody. Welcome once again to the Formula Drivers Challenge here on Apex Racing TV. Andrew Woodhouse and Marco Barbanera bringing you round 11 of the 14-round championship. And we're here at the home of British Motorsport, Silverstone circuit, the Grand Prix circuit indeed. And Marco, I'm really looking forward to this one. It's one of the best tracks on the calendar. It's one of the best tracks in the world, and here we are.
Absolutely. Hello everyone. Hello Andrew. Nice to be here with you as qualifying is just underway right now. And we are here. Championship getting to the final few races. 4 races to go, including this one. And as you can see, qualifying has already started actually 2 minutes ago. So the drivers are just in the process of starting their flying laps, long lap around here in Silverstone. Of course, the new and improved, so to speak, Silverstone. Not really new, but certainly new for iRacing. And from what we have seen in the past few weeks, of course, these races tend to be very, very chaotic, very entertaining. Qualifying up front is going to be massively important.
Yeah, as we look high above the circuit, drivers just about starting their fast laps, and it's going to be a terrific session, I think, here. The track pretty much challenges every aspect of the Formula 3 cars: slow, fast corners, changes of direction, heavy braking zones, and we're going to see how they're going to cope with it. Well, first of all, we're looking at a driver who we haven't seen really before in the series, Matthias Zagazeta, who is of Peru. He's making his way through there. We're on board now with him, going through farm and into the right-hander at Village. 90-degree right, just runs a bit wide. There's quite a lot of understeer actually in that car, it seems. Oh yeah, he's got tons of understeer in there. I don't really know why he's got so much of it, but he does carry on anyway and down the Wellington Straight, but I don't think it's going to be a great time based on that. Now here's Callum Williams, the Australian. What can he do, and what sort of handling does he have in his car coming into Vale? Avoid the sausage curb on the inside on both parts of the corner if you can. Avoid the one on the outside because it can sort of high center you a bit like a train track and keep you going wide. Williams goes across and sets the benchmark, 152.356, 1 second ahead of Joey Alders. And we're looking now at Jack Crawford coming down the back straight. Not seen Crawford for quite a few races actually in the series, but he's back. He's 21st in the championship at the moment after those absences. Gregoire Saucy goes up into third, Kayaski up into second, and Garfias up into third. Then the Mexican, and Crawford coming through Vale and into club. And let's see how he does, and let's see what sort of lap time he will post in car number 52. Crawford then goes, I think an invalidated lap for him, Marco.
Which is quite easy to get around here, by the way, because
Yes.
all these large runoff areas really invite you to push maybe too much, as maybe your Callum Williams also got a little bit of that off track that you really don't want to do, because it's as you can see, almost a 2-minute lap, and you have 4 laps available to you, and it's quite easy to get all 4 of them invalidated, and that means starting at the back, and that also means also driving from the back. And we have seen you don't want to be in the back in any kind of racing, but especially with these open wheelers, because carnage is almost unavoidable, and with the new damage model it takes only a little bit of contact, and you might say goodbye to your front left, front right, your front wing. It's very easy to do so.
Dennis Hauger, then championship leader, goes 5th, and Joey Alders improves to 7th. And Callum Williams has actually put another 3/10 on his lap time, 152.18, currently half a second then ahead of Kai Aski. And that is a good lap by Callum Williams, the man who drives in the FIA Formula 3 Championship. And here's Alexei Nesov, the Russian who sat in 6th place overall. If he can avoid problems in the first couple of laps. Nesov's a pretty quick driver. He can get quite a bit done. Michael Kacic goes into 10th, and the Canadian Jack Crawford, as he goes fastest. He goes fastest with 2 green sectors. Chauvet looks like he's putting in a good lap as well. Good to see him back in the standings. Pierre-Louis Chauvet, and he goes into second place, currently 13th in the championship. We're looking now at Sam Kautet, and Kautet, who is second overall, Marco. 63 points behind. It's quite a big task, but you never know. Depends what he does and what Hauger does.
Yes, absolutely. I think he's, still has a chance. He needs to, have a little bit of help from his opponents, so to speak, a little bit of luck in that regard. Consistency, of course, when you're in this situation, you just need to be, bring home all the points possible in these final 4 rounds of the championship, and hope for the best. That's the only thing you can do, because when the gap is so significant, it is very, very tough to make any gains if the driver in front of you in the championship is not having troubles. Sometimes people avoid saying that. No, I mean, but that's part of the game. Other drivers having trouble is something that happens. You can have trouble, and the other drivers can have trouble. So it's not
Hauger
an,
does
it,
improve.
yeah, it's
Sorry.
no, to finish my point, it's not unsportsmanlike. I mean, to think about that. And wishing that is another story, but thinking about possible problems for your opponent, that's I think perfectly fine.
Yeah, you don't necessarily want anything bad to happen to them, but I think if you say that it's not going to be beneficial for you, I think that's you would be lying. I think as Kacic goes 14th, Hauger did improve, but he's only 9th. Here he is though, coming through Copse Corner, and well, it was, and this is Chauvet, who's just gone fastest again, 151.7 for Pierre-Louis Chauvet. Jack Crawford in P2. We're looking at Josh Mason. We're looking at now Sam Kautet coming down the Hanger Straight and into Stowe Corner. Let's see what he can do. Currently sat in 7th, and he needs to put a great lap in. He's got this one and the next one to go in order to stake his claim for the front row of the grid. What can he do? He has done 2 green sectors. Is it enough to improve? No, it is not. So he'll go into his final lap, Marco, needing to find over half a second. Dennis Hauger, he's coming through again. He's done his 3rd lap. Oh, and he goes 3rd, does Hauger this time.
So up to 3rd is Auger, 2.5 seconds away. As you can see, I think Crawford flirting with an off track there. Philip Ugran and Josh Mason are the only 2 drivers without a valid lap time. Josh Mason actually is coming out of the pits for the first time right now. Chauvet enters the pits. I think his day is mostly done with. I mean, if he exits straight away, he could have one more chance. But as we know, with this new tire model, as Nesov jumps up to 10th, it's really almost impossible to get your tires up to temperature in. I don't know if you know, but there is some software that can like trick iRacing into giving you something like a 6 seconds delayed reading on the tires, pressures and temperature. And I've noticed that on some cars, like for example the Skip Barber, the tires almost never go, close to optimal temperature, at least in the official series, and that's why you are always flirting with, a very unstable car.
Well, here's Ugran then, and you're right, he hasn't set a valid lap time. In fact, he's done his 4 laps and none of them are valid, so looks like it's going to be back of the grid for Ugran. And here's Hauger. This is his final lap then. He's made 3 green sectors. Let's see what he does through Vale. Let's see how tidy he can be. The answer is very tidy. Now, can he keep it inside the lines? Yes, he can. Away from the sausage curb, over the line he goes. Hauger going for pole. No, it's not pole. It's 3rd though. It was an improvement, but it didn't improve his position. You've got Bruno Carnero then. He's now coming into Vale, and we'll see if he can do anything. The man who drives in Asian Formula Renault for Brazil. Carnero up to 14th on 52.9. This is Alexei Nesov coming over on his final lap. Oh, what a lap by Nesov, up to second.
Oh, and Crawford was on a very good lap, but as you can see there, it ended spectacularly.
Yeah, I think he'd done his laps, Marco. I think
You.
he'd gone over the 4 laps.
Oh yes, you are absolutely
Um,
right.
we're going to have a look at him binning it probably just for fun, but yeah, I think he decided he just about had. Oh yeah,
Yeah, he
had
wanted to
enough of
test.
that one.
Yeah, sometimes you want to see the car explode. No, it's.
That's it. Just having a test of the damage model. Josh Mason's still going round actually. Carnero is still on the lap as well. He's on a personal best lap. So we'll see what Carnero can do as he's on his final lap. And then we'll hopefully get Mason as he goes on his last 2 laps. I wonder if he just thinks the track might be in a slightly better state for his qualifying lap. That will probably be true as it rubbers in a little bit more. Carnero looks nice and tidy through Maggots and Beckett's a little bit wide entering into Chapel, but he will get away with that. He might only lose half a tenth or so. Down the hanger straight he comes again, then doing about 150 miles an hour at the end of the straight. Turns it in for Stowe. Nice late apex. Don't run too wide. You want to take a little bit of the curve. It will allow you to on that outside line. Brake at about 75 meters for Vale. Turns it in. Couple of attempts at the wheel. The car maybe not super compliant for Bruno Carnero, but over the line he goes. He will improve, will he? No, he won't. Somehow doesn't improve despite doing 3 personal best sectors. That's a surprise, and now we'll see what Josh Mason can do. He's got 2 laps to go, Marco. He's got a chance of making some places up here.
I think we'll only have this one because when we hit 15 minutes, the drivers will be unceremoniously kicked off to the grid. So it's this lap or nothing for Josh Mason, and he's getting some personal best in sector 2, 3, and 4. Let's see sector 5 after a pedestrian sector 1. Here we go. Josh Mason. Ooh, good lap.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just 4 tenths off, and he'll be probably a little bit annoyed. We'll stay with him just in case it doesn't kick him. I think it will, but just in case, he'll be annoyed if he goes half a second quicker on this lap, I tell you. He's a British F3 driver, has had some good results in that series, so he will know this track well. Into Brooklands. He's done a personal best sector 2. It might not be, yeah, it might not be, oh, he spins. Yeah, I think he might have realised that he struggled with that one a little bit, but yeah, he did win the last race of the season in 2018, Marco, and then in British F3, and did his first full season last season. So he's accomplished. And here's the grid. Pierre-Louis Chauvet then takes pole position, and Alexei Nesov in second, Jack Crawford third, and Dennis Hauger, championship leader, in fourth. Callum Williams is fifth, ahead of Sam Cowter. Quinlan Lal in seventh. Josh Mason, we saw him qualifying in late at the end in eighth. Kayaski ninth, ahead of Victor Anderson. Then is 11th for Gregoire Saucy. Isaac Bloomquist is 12th, with Jose Garfias in 13th. Guilherme de Oliveira is 14th, and Bruno Carnero in 15th. Joey Alders is just behind him, with Marco Cacci at 17th and Oliver Goethe in 18th. Matthias Sagaceta is 19th, and Philip Ugran rounds out the grid in 20th, Marco.
Oh yes, time to go racing then. We just wait for everyone to jump on the grid. I think we are just waiting for Jack Crawford, Marco Kasich, and then we will be ready to roll. Here comes Marco. We are only missing Jack, and there he is.
Here we go then. Just waiting for the lights. It doesn't give those guys a lot of time to prepare. But here we go. We're prepared for round 11 of the season here at Silverstone. The lights are off and the race is on. It was a decent start by Chauvet, but Nessov got a brilliant start. He's right up behind the Frenchman as they go into Abbey, into the first corner. There's a little bit of bumping between Nessov and Crawford. And Hauger's up into third. Is Hauger going to try and take second place away from Nessov as they go into Village round the outside?
Oh, no!
Williams spins in front of the pack and he takes out Keitert. And Keitert could be out of the championship running after that one. Oh, it's a big one. It's Mason. There's all sorts of carnage. It was going on past after the complex. 2 or 3 cars off even after that corner. Oh, they're still crashing. That's Anderson and Alders. And that is Garfias. Oh dear, what a fiasco.
Yeah, many cars are having big issues. Blomqvist also is in trouble.
Oh, Blomqvist, yeah. Sorry, Marco. I thought that was Askey. He was a different, it's a similar looking car.
Askey is also having trouble. Look at that. That car is not looking good at all.
No, it's turned it into a Formula Ford car then. As oh, what a mess. We were looking forward to this one. Thought this was going to be the race where we had the big contenders all fighting it out, but seems like not. Keitert is still going somehow, but he's losing a lot of time. He's got a lot of damage as well. Now he could come in, get a fast repair and come out, but the pit lane's so long here at Silverstone, Marco, he would lose a lot of time.
Yeah, that front wing is absolutely smashed there, and that's not going to do him any favor on the long straight.
Probably should come in then anyway.
Yeah.
If he's going to do it, if you're going to do it, Marco, I think lap 1 is probably the best time.
Absolutely, 100% agree with you. Bite the bullet, as they say. Take the fast repair and come out.
Nessov made a great start, but then he got boxed in behind Chauvet. Hauger went for an inside move. Williams again, though, it was just like in the last round. He went for the outside move, ended up spinning in front of the pack. And that caused chaos then as well. We're on board with Keitert then. We'll see what he does. He doesn't get a terrific start. It's not a terrible one. But he's behind Williams, going into Abbey. See the others end up running a bit wide. Oh, he has to get out of the way of Crawford as the fiercely forward car moves across in front of him. Williams just loses it. Bang! Nothing Keitert can do. Oh, he's got broken... oh, he had a broken suspension arm for a second, but I think... Look at that pile-up. That was a pile-up and a half.
But,
nice to get one race where everybody makes it through the first lap.
Yeah, I mean... so far, I think that has not been the case this season, but you know, as a silver lining, we have this 4-way train that's going to fight for the lead, hopefully for the foreseeable future. Chauvet has got a little bit of a gain, of an advantage, sorry, over Nessov, but you know, they are all there. 7/10 of a second is nothing in these cars. Auger in third and Crawford is in fourth. Behind them, you see Carneiro, Lal, Goethe. Carneiro and Lal also, you know, raced against each other in the FR Americas Championship that we broadcast on. We did broadcast until last week, and we will be broadcasting another series from that from the North American Open Wheelers, the American F4, as Quinlan Lal is heading for the pits that will start next week.
Yes, and Crawford sets the fastest lap then as at the back of this train, and that is Zagazeta stopped on the track. Not sure what happened to the Peruvian. Into Village he goes. Oh, I think he's got something wrong with the car. It's not quite going. It's not handling the way it should be. That's for sure. And Chauvet continues to lead, about 0.8 of a second clear of Nessov. Now, we wanted to see Nesov after the get through the first lap unscathed and see what he could do. Looking good at the moment, but Hauger, now that Kauter is down in 12th, I think Hauger, he might want to maybe risk a little bit more. I don't know. He'll know that Kauter's not at the front as Nesov goes wide through Copse.
You know, while it's a rare occurrence to have a Peruvian driver in the race, let me say big shout out to my big friend and also personal trainer, Jonathan, who's from Peru, lives here in Rome, and apparently we're going to start training very very soon after stay at home has been lifted here in Italy. So well, I'm eager to hit the gym once again, man, with all the precautions.
Yeah,
But I always wanted to say a shout out to him all these months, and finally we have a Peruvian driver racing. So hello, Jonathan, and hope to catch you very very soon.
and me too. I've missed the gym quite a lot in this time. I've got a little bit of I've got a bit of equipment at home, but it's just managing to get the space sort of to work out effectively. I'm sure the drivers are could be having similar issues as well, really, given the fact that they usually train with a lot of specialist equipment. Here's Hauger then, who just set the fastest lap, Marco, and he's right on the back of Nesov. I think he realizes that Chauvet, even though he's not getting away quickly, he doesn't want to let this become 3 or 4 seconds, and that'll end up being quite difficult to pull back.
Absolutely. For a second, I saw Auger disappear and then reappear. We know that his internet connection. Oh man! Also, I've had a couple of moments where the lights in my room have just gone off and come back on in the last 2 minutes. So
Oh dear.
I don't know what's going on here, but
Pray for the stream, everybody. F's in the chat. It'll be in a minute as Hauger. Let's see then what he can do on Nesov.
yeah,
He's
Auger has had
he.
a lot of connection issues. Especially, I remember Branzacci was in the lead, if I'm not mistaken, and he got
The
kicked
question
out
is,
of the server.
has he got the power to turn your lights on and off? That's the question. Who knows? As soon as you mentioned it, that's when it happened. So I'm just saying. But here's Crawford on the back of this group as well. He's sitting pretty. He's only 1.8 seconds off the lead. He's got a nice big slipstream off Hauger. Hauger's got the slipstream off Nesov, and Chauvet is going extremely well. Now Chauvet did manage to qualify. I think he did qualify on the front row earlier on in the season. Don't ask me which race it was. I just can't remember. It could potentially have been Phillip Island. I'm not sure, but he just hasn't managed to get very far in the races without incident, and he sets the fastest lap this time as they go through Abbey Cornet. He's looking good at the moment, Marco. He really is.
Absolutely, he's having a very very good run so far. He's not been troubled by by even though these guys are very close to him. As you can see, he's just at the fastest lap of the race. Keeps on gaining little by little, but sometimes this is the only thing you need to do. Keep gaining, and in the end, that 1/10 per lap will become a second in 10 laps time if he can hold on. We are getting closer and closer to the end of the first third of this race. Half an hour, of course, scheduled distance, 8 minutes and 25 seconds on the clock as the drivers come back on the old start finish line, which in my heart is still the actual start finish line. I don't know, but to me, after all these years, Silverstone still looks weird with the new start finish line and the new first sector, basically.
Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? I mean, I've been lucky enough to visit the circuit quite a few times in recent years for World Endurance Championship and Walter Hayes Trophy and things like that. And I think that's one of the reasons why it sort of is normal to me. But a lot of people who watched the British Grand Prix and things like that for a lot of years with the old layout, and the British touring cars when they came here, that they were seeing a lot of changes. And yeah, it's now 10 years since since this layout was finished. I can't remember if I could be completely wrong, whether it was '09 or it was 10 where it was the first race with the with the new layout, but they just haven't finished building the pits yet. I think it might have been '09. And I think it was 10 where they started with the new. That might have been the other way around.
I
But there you
remember there
go.
was a season certainly where they did like an hybrid version where they started one place but the track was different. And I think you can go on my Twitter account when it was almost like or just opened, and I tweeted something along the lines of what happened to Silverstone.
And hey, look, we all love it now. Certainly, I love this layout. I think it's tremendous. This is Oliver Goethe, and renewed confidence. It looks like for Goethe against Garfias. And Goethe finished in, I think it was 6th place in the previous round after struggling for most of the season. So he's pushing on, and he looks like he's gaining a lot of confidence and strength from those good results. So 2009, it was still on the old layout, Marco. There you go.
Auger just had the fastest lap of the race, and but it doesn't seem like either he has that extra bit of pace to make the move, or either he doesn't want to make that move because he's very comfortable where he is. So these four cars have maintained positions for quite a bit of time now. That the same can't be said here because I think that Carneiro just went past Guilherme de Oliveira, apologies, because it's from Portugal, and he got the job done. Of course, Bruno always racing with a different livery basically every round, and today he's sporting this red Red Bull car. I don't know if Oliveira is going to be happy with that, and maybe he will go for a move of his own here on the backstretch.
Oh, I would have gone for it then. I think into the loop. I think that would have been a good overtaking place for him that time, but decides not to bother, and that is his right to do so. He's got a good slipstream now, but not close enough. I wonder if the slow corner might have been his. Oh, he's gone wide as Carneiro, and as a result, Oliveira loses control of the rear of the car, and so he couldn't quite get the overtake done, Marco, because he nearly went off himself.
Oh, absolutely. That was a bit of a scary moment for both of them. It's a case of, watching the driver in front of you and following in his mistake. I've done that, plenty of times.
Good camera angle here from the rear wing of Carneiro's car. Looking at De Oliveira, and see that the dirty air definitely affecting the Portuguese through here. And and in fact, Carneiro gaining quite a good amount of time through there. Blomqvist not too far behind. But here's the battle for second. And Hauger still hasn't attempted to make a move on Nessov. But the question is he getting close enough? This time I think he is closer, Marco, down the main straight. And I think if he gets to run through Abbey, he's definitely going to be able to challenge into Village.
Here we go.
Surely now. Up the inside for Hauger. And does he clear him into the loop? Yes, he does clear him. That is a lovely move there by Dennis Hauger. And he goes up into second place, but Nessov's going to have the slipstream. Hauger's going to have to do some defending. In fact, I think both of them are going to have to do some defending because Jack Crawford is on his way. The American, he's going to go up the inside of Nessov as well. And suddenly the podium positions change around massively. Nessov demoted to second. What sort of pace, Marco, now do Hauger and Crawford have now that they're ahead of Nessov, I wonder?
Yeah, that's a very, very interesting question, and it's been a long time in the making, this overtake, and for poor Alexei Nessov, the moment he opened the door, so to speak, to Auger. He lost that little bit of momentum, having to take that corner there in a very in a different way than usual. and you saw Crawford having not only a better exit but also the double slipstream, and those two things combined made the overtake possible. And now let's compare the sectors between first and second place. There's a lap car there. Careful, guys. And you can see, of course, that sector 2 is going. It was a big gain from Chauvet because there was all the overtaking. But looks like Auger very slightly has already been able to pull a little bit of a gap over third place.
Yeah, 7/10 of a second already then for Hauger. I wonder if Chauvet now might put the hammer down in response. Hauger set the fastest sector 1 of anybody, but that will have been with the slipstream, of course, of Nesov. So we'll see what he can do this time. Chauvet did a 52.0, Hauger did a 51.9. He's definitely eating into the lead though. He's gained a couple of tenths on him. You see lap 8, 1/10 quicker, Marco, with an overtake. So good good job there, and it's maybe slightly worrying for Pierre-Louis Chauvet. Oh, Nesov getting back at Crawford. That was a good move into Brooklands. Getting the elbows out. Crawford looking for the inside. It's like Soper and Cleland. There's not really a space there. Nesov, I don't think was very happy about it, but Crawford manages to go through. Slightly dodgy move by Crawford, but just about get away with it.
In the meantime, Isaac Blomqvist has just gone past De Oliveira. Let's actually get a replay of that, which is not this, but this.
Let's see then. It's down the Wellington Straight. And Blomqvist, is he just going to move out from the slipstream very late? Dive up the inside into Brooklands? Yes, he is. That's a nice move. Well judged by Blomqvist, and he's up into 7th place. So good stuff from the Swede, who started in 12th. Marko Kacic, by the way, is up into 5th position, and he started in 17th.
Yeah.
It's tremendous work by the Canadian.
Big, another driver that raced in the Formula Americas that we broadcasted here in the past month, and another driver that has really done well in the championship. Hopefully, will be back for the F4 Americas next week here on Apex, late at night on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning.
By the way, Sam Cowter is out of the race, Marco, so there'll be no points for him. So you feel that Hauger is slowly getting one hand on the championship trophy. Also, just wasn't enjoying the.
No.
Oh, and into the wall. And that wall is not. It's not a safer barrier. It's not a tire wall. It's not cushioned, because nobody really crashes there. So it's and it's very slow speed. So into the wall, wheel off, and out, over and out for Cowter. Now Hauger, well, you can see by the graph, he's gained 0.4 of a second in the last 3 laps. So yeah, this is getting interesting. We're going to have a good last sort of 7 or 8 laps on our hands here.
And I see that Crawford has also pulled away from Nesov, so Nesov was basically, doing the truly tactic, of.
Oh yeah.
Which is a very
it's really
very.
made a difference.
It's a very reasonable tactic because they have to pass you, and if you don't do anything dirty, it's their fault if they don't overtake you. But this all of a sudden that overtake has unleashed the real pace of all these drivers, including Nesov himself. They're all settling on a sort of a pattern, and that pattern, I think, the most important thing is that gap, as you can see, slowly but surely, is decreasing. Very, very, very small difference between Chauvet and Auger this last lap. I think we can see that 0.073, but the trend is getting greener and greener on the bottom side of your screen.
Well, people used to say, touching on Trulli for a minute, actually, is that people used to say he wasn't very good in the races. It wasn't really that. It was just that he was so good in qualifying that it made his race performances look ordinary, and that's why he wasn't bad in the race at all. I mean, he used to regularly beat Fernando Alonso when they were teammates, and just his one lap speed was just so good that he outperformed the car a lot of the time. Probably
And
why he never got in a championship winning car, to be honest. Not really his fault.
and of course, when you want to win one race in your career, you want to win Monaco, which is is.
Yeah. But that was the perfect illustration. I think there were 3 of them behind him at the end. Was Button and I can't remember who else it was. There was another person behind, but right, just a few tenths behind. But his qualifying lap at Monaco was really one of the best laps you're ever likely to see. And I'll tell you what, Chauvet's done a good job in the last lap or two, Marco, as we look at Kacic and Carnero. But yeah, Chauvet's done a good job. He's held the gap. He's held the gap at 1.1.
I think an issue for Queen Lanlal. A big issue.
Drop down the order. Let's see. Here he is. Oh, I think Cop's corner. He gets too much of the inside there, Marco. Unusual crash there. Oh.
That's a very big hit. And that is day done, I would say. But you are absolutely right. I mean, for all intents and purposes, I think Chauvet is perfectly happy without I mean, he's okay in losing a bit here and there, if it's just a few 1,000ths of a second per lap, because that is clearly not enough to be overtaken by Auger. Auger, on the other hand, must know, looking at his relative, or if he has a spotter or whatever, or maybe using STK Gaming, he knows that his closest title contender is currently in the pits eating an ice cream, so probably knows that he can. I'm judging by the time of the year. I'm not a big ice cream fan, but I if you want to, if you're a bit sad, I mean, why not?
That's it. Oh dear. Yeah, I could do with one to cool down. It's very, very warm in the UK today. It's nearing 30 degrees in some places, which is ridiculous for the month of May, really. As Hauger is Celsius, that is, for the smart asses out there who probably say, "Oh, it's always cold in York." No, it's not. It's 3/4 of a second now. As soon as I say, actually, Marco, that Chauvet was holding the gap, and he just pegged the gap slightly, Hauger takes 3/10 of a second out of it.
Yes, look at that, 8/10 of a second between the pair of them. I told you before the race that I had the sun beaming on my room, as Kasich and Carneiro, two Formula Regional Americas veterans, going at it. Carneiro gets the move done. So I told you I had the sun beaming on my seat here, and now I turn to the right, and the sky is of a very, very, very ominous dark gray / black, and there is an 86% possibility of rain, which I would really, really love right now. But most importantly, thank you to the clouds who made this broadcast a lot easier for me, because I'm not in a oven anymore.
I'd like to thank the Academy, and I'd like to thank the clouds, for their cooperation in all this. Nesov is only 9/10 of a second behind Crawford, but we're looking at Garfias. They're trying to make a move on Oliveira for 8th. Where is Oliveira? There he is. Garfias trying the big now. He could try the big long cutback through Luffield if he can nail the exit. It looks like he's got a good exit, Marco, and that's a decent run, but I don't think he'll be able to get close enough, but he will be able to at least follow him through Copse and try and follow him closely through the S's. Yeah, that's if he even needs to. Oh, he could have tried it.
I mean, you need to be very brave to send your car in there. I don't know if I would have done it.
I'd have considered it. I might not have done it in the end, but I would have definitely thought about it. Now, a bit of weaving down the straight by Oliveira to try and break that slipstream, try and disrupt car of Garfias, and he's gone wide as Oliveira. Oh, done all the hard work, and he makes a mistake. And Garfias through into eighth place. He's done a good job there. As now we look back at the front of the race, Pierre-Louis Chauvet, and you can see what Dennis Hauger's done to his lead over the past few laps. 0.2, 1/10, nothing, and then quarter of a second, then 1/10 of a second. It's come down gradually, ominously, and the real problem, I think, Marco, is when you're in a race yourself and you're at the front of the race and you're going as fast as you cannot stop the gap coming down. It just sends you, especially when you're in the lead, it just sends you into a bit of a form of panic because you don't really know what to do. And I mean, if it's 1/10 or so, you might have encouragement that you can stay in front. But it's still going to be difficult for him, I think.
Yes, especially now because of course you are right. There is nothing Pierre-Louis can do because it's in the Dennis is firmly planted in his draft. And unless he makes a mistake, there is nothing he can do to push him away.
It's going to make it harder now, exactly. I'm looking forward to this as well. If these two get anywhere near each other into a braking area, I reckon we're going to see some fireworks. Nesov into Stowe. Oh, you can't brake. There's no braking area to speak of into Stowe. He may have a go into Vale. Is he just going to fling one up the inside? No, he does not. He uses a bit of discretion this time, Alexei Nesov, and stays behind Jack Crawford for another lap. Well, for another few corners at least.
Look at this.
Hauger
This is
then
beautiful.
is right. Yeah, he's right in the zone, isn't he?
I mean,
oh, he's got a poor run through turn one, Marco. He really has. As Chauvet, he lost another 10th and a half just in Abbey. Of course, he does have. These drivers don't have the benefit of the DRS down the straights. So it's all slipstream, and it's all about getting the best exit possible. Into Brooklands they go. They're side by side, Marco.
oh, there is no space.
Oh, how
dear.
is he going?
And Nesov jumped Crawford. Let's very quickly go to a replay.
Yeah, I'm sure there could be another chapter in this battle, but Nesov going through Abbey, and he looks like he's going to do it into one of the slow corners. Yeah, up the inside, nicely judged. Chauvet's pushing very hard now, Marco, as is Hauger. You can see the grass being kicked up as Hauger goes a bit wide. Chauvet's car looked a bit twitchy through the S's section. And this is what we've been waiting for throughout this race. The battle between the two leaders. Hauger slides the car into Stowe corner. Is he starting to just lose a little bit of grip?
I think they will get the white flag this time around, by the way.
It's going to be close,
yeah.
I think.
Maybe not. You are. No, they
No.
won't. They won't. Yeah, 2 laps to go.
Unless it's a very slow lap, I think they'll have 2 more. They'll have
usually, I've noticed that iRacing counts based on the penultimate lap. What a...
Oh, round the outside!
That's brave, and it's going to work.
Dennis Hauger round the outside into Village. Brave move. Spectacular. Great execution. But now Chauvet right in the slipstream down the Wellington Straight. This could be the only opportunity that he has left. Maybe he has to make this move now. He goes round the outside into Brooklands. He's sliding the car. But Hauger manages to hold it together. But Chauvet's got the pace, Marco. We know that there's only really about a 1/10 of a second difference between them in pace. And now Chauvet has the slipstream. He's buried in the slipstream.
This is far from over, Andrew, and everyone watching at home. Far from over. Look at that, they are basically a single car.
Oh yeah, and that's
very
the
big
reason.
F3.
And for those at home who haven't really seen much racing before, I'm sure there might be 1 or 2 of you. Welcome. It's great for you to be with us here on this Wednesday afternoon. That is the reason why the slipstream works, because effectively the driver behind is putting the same amount of power down and has the same engine power, but the air is flying over the top of his car. So it's not hitting him, so providing less wind resistance, less drag. And that's how the slipstream works, and it works very well in these F3 cars that do have quite a bit of downforce. Into Vale they come. Sort of half move by Chauvet. I don't think that isn't going to do it. Just 5 seconds to go, but we're going to get another lap here at Silverstone. So neither man can afford to slow down to take the checkered flag. Hauger, 2/10 clear. He leads the championship. His nearest rival is out. There's not a lot of stakes on this for him. It's just pride and it's just enjoyment of the racing. And Chauvet goes up the inside, and Hauger stands his ground on the outside line. Chauvet tries to cut back through the loop, and he gets a good run onto the Wellington straight, Marco.
See, might be his final chances. Seems to me like he has a good run, and I think he will send it on the inside now. Oh, big defense.
Oh, huge defense by Hauger. Chauvet just tried to stay in the slipstream as long as he could. Now he's going to get the big, long cutback as he through Luffield. He's going to have to stay very, very close so that he still gets pulled along through Woodcote and across the National Straight then. The International Pit, sorry. Not into Copse Corner. Oh, Chauvet on the inside. Into Copse Corner. They both run very wide. But Pierre-Louis Chauvet is fighting so hard against Dennis Hauger here. Hauger yields. He's thinking about the championship, I'm sure. But Pierre-Louis Chauvet might be a slowdown for Hauger, actually. I'm pretty sure it's a slowdown penalty because he went so wide coming out of Copse Corner. But and it is a slowdown. He still hasn't served it, Marco, and he might fall victim to Nesov, who's coming quickly now.
My. What a finish to the race.
Chauvet coming through Vale and into Club for the last time. Well, he's been absent for quite a few races, Pierre-Louis Chauvet. But I tell you what, absence makes the car go faster. And here comes Chauvet across the line. And he wins here at Silverstone in the Formula Drivers' Challenge. Dennis Hauger, the championship leader, extends that advantage some more with second place. And it's a little bit of the bubbly. Or maybe the Russian standard vodka, I don't know, for Alexei Nesov. Who knows? He's in third place. That's what I would drink, I'll be honest. Crawford in fourth and Carnero in fifth. And with Isaac Blomqvist in sixth. And then Marko Kacic, great performance from him. He started near the back of the field and finishes in seventh place. That's pretty good for a driver who's only scored 19 points this season. So great job. Oliveira, Garfias in 8th, Oliveira 9th, Goethe coming home in the top 10 once again.
Final few battles, Alders and Aski. You know, I promised myself during lockdown I would not drink any alcohol in order to avoid becoming addicted. So when at midnight on Monday it was lifted here in Italy, I had beer, and it was the best beer I ever had. You know.
Joey Alders takes the checkered flag ahead of Kai Aski. So wheel goes flying from something. Oh dear. And then everybody's across the line. You know what? The first lap again was a bit dodgy, but we had a terrific race at the front. 4 drivers giving it absolutely everything. And here we have the finishing order then. Pierre-Louis Chauvet takes his first win of the season. By 2.4 seconds in the end over Dennis Hauger. That seems like a straightforward win. It certainly wasn't. Hauger picked up a slowdown on the last lap. It was the only thing stopping that from being a battle all the way to the end. Alexei Nesov in 3rd ahead of Jack Crawford. Bruno Carnero took 5th ahead of Isaac Blomqvist. Marko Kacic's best result of the season for him in 7th ahead of Jose Garfias, who's improving all the time. Guilherme de Oliveira in 9th. Oliver Goethe with his second top 10 in a row. Victor Anderson in 11th ahead of Joey Alders, and then Kai Aski followed very quickly behind. Josh Mason couldn't convert that good qualifying into a good race result. He was 14th ahead of Gregoire Saucy in 15th. Philip Ugran took 16th, and then the retirements were Quinlan Lal and sensationally Sam Kauter, Matthias Sagazeta, and Callan Williams, who actually triggered pretty much the first lap carnage. what a race! And we're going to speak now to well, a driver. Marco, you've got Alexei Nesov there.
Yes, absolutely. Welcome to the booth, Alexi, and congratulations on another very, very good race there at the front.
Yeah, thank you. Finally, first podium in the series. There were so many unlucky races, but you see, finally we managed to this. Unfortunately, when I get let pass to Dennis and Jack to try catch Pierre-Louis, then I overtake. When I was overtaking Jack, he was trying to counter-attack. We had a contact, and I lost a couple of seconds, what probably cost me a fight for the win in the end. But still. I'm happy with the result and with the pace. I hope I can this for the rest of the races.
I mean, you have been very, very consistent all season long, so I think this podium must feel really good. A very good, reward for your consistency.
Yeah, sure, but when all the races have the pace to fight for the podium, but all the time you have some difference, some kind of problems, and when you finally manage it, it's so great.
So it's been, a very, very tough season. We have basically this big, big final push of races. Um, what are you looking forward to in the remainder of the championship that ends on Sunday?
I will try to fight for P3 in the championship because Dennis and Sam are uncountable, but still we'll try to fight for P3.
Alexi, thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure to have you today as well. Before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank?
Of course, I want to thank you for the great stream.
Well, thanks a lot, Alexi. It's been a massive pleasure, and we hope to catch you in the next few days.
Yeah, see you. Bye.
Thank you, Alexei. And yeah, he's shown the promise, hasn't he, throughout the season, but just had some unfortunate issues early on in races. Bruno Carnero joins us now. Bruno, top 5 today from 15th on the grid. Did you actually think that was likely at the start of the race?
Not at all. Let me just say not at all. But yeah, get a top 5 finish. Finally, a good finish in the championship.
And you did some good overtaking. You had some good. Oh, I think we just lost. I think we just lost your sound a little bit there, Bruno. You might have to reset your microphone or something.
Yeah, bit of
Because I
a
can't hear.
yeah, bit
Can't
of an
hear a
issue.
word, I'm afraid.
No, same here, unfortunately, and it's a bit of a shame. I wanted to have a chat with him to, because another driver that we really, really, I had the pleasure again to meet and to follow during the FR Americas. So since I've been speaking about it this very, very frequently today, we will be starting next Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, or it's going to be 22.30 GMT for the KCR F4 US Championship, and I'm sure many of these drivers, or some of them, will join us for that. Too bad we can't hear from Bruno, Andrew, but I mean, final
Yeah,
remarks from you. And
I sent him a message, but I don't know if he can get it. Because I wonder if his Discord is just
yeah,
playing up. So
that will be.
unfortunately, we're sorry about that, Bruno. But come and talk to us. Come and talk to us next time, and we'll give you a little bit more time. Yes, Marco, it was a brilliant race here at Silverstone. Always provides terrific action. And yeah, I for one, I'm very, very excited about the next round, which I believe is Zandvoort, and that will be tomorrow evening at the same time here on the channel. So please tune in for round 12 of the Formula Drivers Challenge. But for now, from Andrew Woodhouse, from Marco Barbanera, from Silverstone, it's good night.